Former First Lady Michelle Obama is on a worldwide book tour. She's promoting her new memoir. It's called Becoming. And she's bringing the honesty from the page to the stage. People lost it over something that she said at one recent stop, which included a little colorful language. We're going to talk about it, but first, NBC's Stephanie Gosk explains.
Michelle Obama like we've never seen her before.
Oftentimes, it's not equal, and you feel a bit resentful about it. And so then it's time to go to marriage counseling.
The former First Lady quite candid in speaking her mind, shocking a sold-out arena in Brooklyn during a tour stop for her memoir, Becoming.
Sometimes that stuff doesn't work.
Using an expletive to talk about the unreasonable pressures facing women, reportedly saying, "That whole so you can have it all? Nope, not at the same time. That's a lie, and it's not always enough to lean in, because that doesn't work all the time." The crowd erupted in applause. Moments after, the First Lady composed herself, saying she forgot where she was for a moment.
I'm back now.
Fans took to social media, one commenting, "I love it. She can say whatever she wants now. Finally." Obama's comment, a critique of the lean in mantra popularized by Facebook exec Sheryl Sandberg, who encouraged women to thrive simultaneously at work and at home.
We also hold ourselves back. We don't sit at the table. We don't raise our hands. We don't let our voices be loud enough.
Sandberg declined to comment about Obama's remarks. The former First Lady continuing to speak frankly in London.
I always ask myself, am I good enough?
And revealing that she has her own self-doubts.
I still feel that at some level I have something to prove because of the color of my skin, because of the shape of my body, because of who knows how people are judging me.
Also offering advice to new royal Meghan Markle in a new interview with Good Housekeeping UK, telling the mom to be, "The pressure you feel from yourself and from others can sometimes feel like a lot. Don't be in a hurry to do anything." Adding, Meghan can maximize her impact for others as well as her own happiness if she's doing something that resonates with her personally. Meanwhile, back home,
I was in line for about 2.5 hours.
Fans can't wait to see more of the First Lady. Authentic, real, and becoming more herself.
And by the way, that book is already the best-selling book of 2018, sold more than 2 million copies. But what do you make of what she said there?
I think this has become, first of all, this tour that she's on has become a phenomenon.
Yes.
So if you go to your Facebook page, Instagram, obviously you shape your Facebook page and your Instagram page to what you like and what you see. But my page has been inundated. I don't know anyone who doesn't have a ticket. And it's big dollars.
Yeah.
You know, it's not cheap to go to these events, but I think she feels like because of that, if you're going to pay top dollar and pack into an arena and wait hours in line to hear what she has to say, I guess she figures, you know what, I might as well be authentic and I might as well just tell you the truth. And the reality is there are a lot of women like me. I have 3 kids, I have a high-pressure job, and we do try to lean in. And it is important to hear that you can have it all, but maybe sometimes not at the same time.
I think that's
and
right.
I think that that's just what she was trying to say. You know, and a lot of us, we set this bar so high that you end up down on yourself and you end up depressed because you feel like, you know, you're missing your kid's performance. Now you're missing this at work. She's saying, look, you can do all of those things, but sometimes things have to give. And I think she was just, frankly, just being real with the women who were in that audience, which is why you heard the laughter and a little bit of relief in the laughter.
Seemed to resonate.
Yeah.
She canceled stops, by the way, in Paris and Berlin so that she, of course, and former First President Barack Obama can attend those funeral services tomorrow in Washington.
Yeah,
So
I think, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you always wonder what presidents and first ladies are really thinking
There
when
you
they're in
go.
the White House.
Now we know.
And then when they step out of the White House, we learn what they've really been thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps about President Trump, as we've heard this book from Michelle Obama, and also just about living in the public eye and what that means and some of the pitfalls of that, and seeing her share that with Meghan Markle as well.
The juggle.